It uses an upgraded version of the same game engine as the Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance games, and man, it looks good. You want an example of games with amazing graphics on the PS2, Champions of Norath is one to go with. Water flows with you as you move through it, fire looks realistic and they simulate the ambient light that comes away from it, there are little rats and spiders that move around the maps, corpses stay persistent throughout the whole game as you walk by, and the weapons they drop and things like that. Wow. The game also manipulates the camera to make early attempts at fully voice-acted cutscenes. It's not perfect, and every once in a while it kinda glitches out, but overall it adds to the game more so than just clicking through text boxes like most games that come before it.
Even as we speak, they move through a dark forest unopposed. They have pillaged our home, Kelethin, and put our loved ones to the sword. Their tracks leave scars upon the land that may never be healed.
Mechanically, it's very much a hack and slash game. You can choose from a number of classes, such as the Barbarian, Warrior, Wood Elf Ranger, High Elf Cleric, or a Wizard, or a Dark Elf Shadow Knight. You can level up different skill trees to enhance certain abilities or skills. You can find newer and better gear as the game goes on, which is, the whole loot grinder aspect that Diablo is known for. And you fight legions and legions of orcs and goblins and explore a pretty interesting world. I personally have pretty much zero experience with the EverQuest universe, and that is not detracted from my experience with the game at all. I would imagine, though, that it would add a fair amount to the experience if you are familiar with the lore. One of the really cool features of the game at the time was that it not only had 4-player split screen, but you had online play too. You could import your characters to play online with friends, voice chat using a USB headset, and have fun. It seems like it would have been a blast. However, online play was shut down in April of 2013, so I will not get to experience it. Single tier. Lastly, the game has a freaking beautiful soundtrack. I've been trying to hunt down a decent quality copy of the soundtrack itself, and it's not easy to find. The only physical copy I can track down is a couple CD listings on eBay in the UK, and they want $40 plus shipping for it, which is a bit much for a CD without even a case. Overall, if you like Diablo, Baldur's Gate, Gauntlet games, Champions of Norath is a must-play. It has some decent replayability with the various classes and split screen, and if you find yourself wanting more, there is a sequel. Champions Return to Arms is also available on the PS2. Next up, we have Hideo Kojima at his best with Metal Gear Solid 3. I've always had a huge fascination and admiration for the Metal Gear franchise, but I've never actually played through it myself. I'm just horrible at it. I'm currently working my way through MGS3, but it's not going well if you've tuned into my live streams. But I have learned from hours of watching analysis videos and having watched my IRL buddy play through them when we were kids, that MGS3 is a good middle ground between Kojima's weird meta dive into making games about gamers with Metal Gear Solid 2, and before all the crazy "the nanomachines did it" madness that took over in Metal Gear Solid 4. So here's my buddy BBK Dragoon, who has quite the history with the franchise, to give you a little bit of a better description.
Metal Gear Solid 3 represents not only a superb technical mastery over developing the PlayStation 2, but also one of the best games the platform has to offer. Kojima's launch title of MGS2 was at the forefront of the PlayStation 2's initial marketing efforts, as it truly showcased what the hardware was capable of. Kojima pushed the tech within the PS2 to its limits from the get-go, with gameplay that still holds up strongly to this day. MGS3 released in 2004, this was 4 years after the PlayStation 2's launch, giving Kojima and his team time to learn and improve upon the tech they pioneered in MGS2. Metal Gear Solid 3 is the perfect starting point for a player new to the Metal Gear universe. What is essentially a prequel to the MGS series, 3 requires no previous knowledge of characters, plot points, or the grand narrative of the Metal Gear series. Longtime